Good morning, students. Today we will see our third lesson of civics, that is the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. In that, we are going to study about the work and importance of the Prime Minister of our country and its ministries. The Constitution of India provides for a council of ministers with the Prime Minister as its head. In the parliamentary form of government, the President is the head of the Union and the Prime Minister is the head of the government. How Prime Minister is appointed? The Prime Minister is appointed by the President, who, according to convention, invites the leader of the majority party or group in the Lok Sabha to form the government. The members of the majority group or party elect their leader in the Lok Sabha to be appointed as the Prime Minister. Formation of the Council of Ministers. The Constitution originally does not specify the Constitution originally does not specify the number of Council of Ministers. However, the Constitution by the 91st Amendment Act 2003 put a ceiling on the size of the Council of Ministers to 15% of the strength of the Lok Sabha or the state legislature. The Council of Ministers is also called as the Cabinet. Then we have to see the tenure. Tenure means how much time they are enjoying the power. The ministry shall hold the office so long as they continue to enjoy the confidence of the majority in the Lok Sabha, or so long the Prime Minister does not resign. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister can at any time demand a resignation from any minister and recommend the President to do so. Thus, the tenure of the ministry or a minister is not fixed. Generally, the maximum term for which a ministry can remain in office is 5 years. That is one full term of the Lok Sabha. Now we have to see the powers or functions of the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers have the following parts and functions. First, formulation of policy. The Council of Ministers is mainly a formulating body. It formulates both external and domestic policies of the government on important matters such as defense, economic policy, security needs, and important reforms, etc. Implementation of policies. When the policy decision on any subject is taken by the cabinet, then the Minister of State and the Deputy Minister of the concerned ministry scrutinize the policies properly and forward it to the civil servants to implement the decision. The cabinet has the power to coordinate the activities of various departments and make important appointments by the President, like judges of Supreme Court and High Courts, Governor of States, Chief Election Commissioner, and so on. Now we have to see legislative powers. The cabinet exercises the following powers: power of initiating bills, almost 90%, that is, amendment to the constitution, then issuing of ordinance, summoning the parliament, source of information. Then the financial powers. First, we have to see the first financial power is used at the time of budget session. The annual budget is prepared at the instance of the cabinet. The proposals for taxes and expenditures are made by the cabinet. It is the duty of the finance minister to present the budget in the parliament and expected it to be passed. Introduction of money bills. The money bills can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. The finance ministry proposes the imposition of taxes or suggests reduction or abolition of taxes. Then emergency power. The president can declare a proclamation of national emergency under Article 352. However, after 44th Amendment Act, such proclamation can only be made after the written recommendation of the Council of Ministers. Students, now we will see the position and powers of the Prime Minister. Position and powers of the Prime Minister can be seen as follows. Prime Minister is as the leader of the nation. The Prime Minister represents the nation. He decides the kind of relation India will have with other countries. He tries to protect the interest of the country in international terms or forums. He is the ex-officio chairman of the Niti Aayog or National Institution for Transforming India Ayog that replaces Planning Commission of India. He also the chairman of Atomic Energy Commission. Prime Minister's power in relation to the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister enjoys the following powers as the head of the Union Council of Ministers. The President appoints only those persons as ministers who are recommended by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister allocates and reshuffles various portfolios among the ministers. The Prime Minister can advise the President to dismiss a minister in case of difference of opinion. The Prime Minister presided the meeting of Council of Ministers and influences its decisions. Now, powers of Prime Minister in relation to the President. The Prime Minister possesses the following powers in relation to the President as follows. The Prime Minister is the principal advisor to the President. The Prime Minister chooses the ministers and on his advice, the President appoints them. He acts as a link between the President and the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister furnishes all the administrative affairs of the Union when the President may call for. The Prime Minister advises the President with regard to the appointment of important officials such as CAG, members of UPSC, ECS, etc. Powers of Prime Minister in relation to the Parliament. As the leader of the Lok Sabha, Prime Minister enjoys the following powers. First, Prime Minister advises the President with regard to the summoning and proroguing means discontinuing the session of the Parliament. The Prime Minister can recommend dissolution of the Lok Sabha to the President at any time. Prime Minister announces government policies on the floor of the House. The Prime Minister is the leader of the lower house in the Parliament and the chief spokesperson of the government in the Parliament. Whenever an unwanted situation arises in the Parliament, the matter generally ends with the intervention of the Prime Minister. Now we have to see the collective and individual responsibility of the members of the cabinet. At first, we will see collective responsibility. First, Article 75 of the Constitution clearly states that the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. This means that all the ministers are jointly responsible to the Lok Sabha for all their acts of omission and commission. They work as a team and swim and sink together. Individual responsibility now we will see. Article 75 of the Constitution also contains the principle of individual responsibility. It states that the ministers holds the office during the pleasure of the President, which means that the President can remove a minister even at the time when the Council of Ministers enjoys the confidence of the Lok Sabha. However, the President removes a minister only on the advice of the Prime Minister. Here we have completed Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. Or the executive, the Union Executive we have completed here. In the next period, I will give you question answers of these lessons. If you will not understand any definition or any, then you can comment me.